Season 2 of Small Town Spotlight, sponsored by Charlie Clark Auto Group.
KTSM Small Town Spotlight rolls on another week, and this week we are live in central El Paso from the El Paso Police Department, which has been serving our community since the late 1800s. This was actually formally established in 1873, led by rapidly rotating city marshals. The history of the department relates with the popular Old West history of our country, and today it's the location of our Small Town Spotlight. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Morgan.
And I'm Monica Cortez. Today we're going to be highlighting everything that goes on here at the El Paso Police Headquarters. Everything from Crime Stoppers. We're going to be talking about how to become a police officer, and we're even going to highlight a ride-along. I did one in our 5 o'clock hour, so I'm really excited about that.
All made possible by the fine folks over there at Charlie Clark Nissan. We're actually at police headquarters, which is located in the 5 Points area, if you're familiar with central El Paso, so a historic side of town as well. And it wasn't maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, about a month ago, that we did spotlighted the El Paso Fire Department.
Right.
Now we get to do the El Paso Police Department, and really just trying to shine a light on everything these guys do for our community and keeping us safe.
Absolutely. So how about we take a little look at the history behind the El Paso Police Department.
The El Paso Police Department was established in 1873, essentially when the city was incorporated. That's when the department came to fruition as far as what the department was going to be consisting of, what were their duties, and what they were going to be. Early on, of course, the mode of travel was horseback. Everybody would get around on horses, and so that's how officers would patrol. We went from horses to motorcycles, and there was a time frame where both of them were being utilized. Then the vehicle came into play. Then you progress through once the vehicle comes in, now you have other technologies that start happening. You know, you got fingerprints, you got cameras. It evolved to where we're doing all of the reports on computers. In 1939, the Chamber of Commerce actually designed our patch, and it was designed to promote the Sun City. It stayed on our uniform until 1941, which is in World War II. A lot of people here in El Paso didn't like the patch because it resembled the Japanese sun. Our badge, actually, this one that I'm wearing came into fruition in 2004. From 1989, we wore the other badge, which looks more like it looks like a fireman's badge almost. We went to something that was very unique, to be different. Unfortunately, we're in a time period where it's not popular to become a police officer. It's not the profession that when I first joined, it's looked at the same way. And it's becoming a little bit challenging to bring in people, but those people that do decide to make the change and be the difference to be an officer here, it's a very rewarding career.
How incredible. I didn't know any of this, and you know, I love their badges. It looks just so beautiful.
Yeah, really cool look back on how everything kind of came to be, and again, just our first responders, our hearts go out to them and everything they do to keep our community safe. Both a physically demanding job, no doubt about that, a mentally demanding job. Want to talk a little bit more, though, about the physically demanding part of the job, because of course it wouldn't be a small town spotlight without Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis.
That's right. Let's go ahead and send it out to him. I'm not sure what trouble he's getting into out there, but Robert, what's going on?
No, Monica, today I'm getting in absolutely no trouble at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I'm with the El Paso Police Department. Let's run through the small town spotlight checklist, shall we? Imitation aviators? Check. Comfy shoes that I got as a Christmas present from Nexstar Broadcasting? Check. Multi-million-dollar command center for a crisis from the El Paso Police Department? Check. and I'll be giving you a private tour of that little bad boy coming up at 5 o'clock. So just hang around because we're going to go inside and see everything they use whenever there's a crisis. Now, it's a little warm. As you can see, there's a haze. We've got one of those air quality alerts in effect, and it is in effect for tomorrow as well as we return to the triple-digit heat, 101 for our high temperature for tomorrow. Joining me here behind me is Carlos Arellano. Are you ready to run me through the physical portion of becoming a police officer?
Yes, sir. I am ready. You're going to do it.
But am I ready?
You will be ready. I guarantee that.
Does my hair look good enough for the uniform?
Beautiful. It looks perfect. It looks perfect.
Did you just say perfect?
Yeah, I sure did.
I love these small town spotlights. I'm going to have your full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica, Andy, does my hair look like the cop from Terminator 2?
Robert. You know what? Now that you mention it,
It looks perfect.
yeah, it does look perfect. What do you think? You think he's got what it takes?
I think so. We're going to have to wait and find out.
Really going to be interesting to see. We have so much more to get to on this edition of Small Town Spotlight live in Central El Paso at police headquarters, but we do want to get to our news of the day.
That's right. Let's go ahead and send it over to our anchor, Oriana Botaro, who has the news of the day. Hey, Oriana.
Hey there, Monica. Hey there, Andy. Well, let's go ahead and get straight to our top headlines for today. Two 19-year-old men were arrested and charged with murder after a 24-year-old man was shot and killed last weekend. Police say Noah Daniel Lomeli and Damian Alexander de la Riva are both facing a murder charge. Police say they responded to multiple gunshots that were heard at the Gonzalez Place apartments on July 20th. When officers arrived, they found a man had been fatally wounded in the parking lot. That man was later identified as 24-year-old Omar Infante Jr. And President Biden plans to address the nation about his decision to not seek a second term in office tonight at 6 p.m. our time. This will be the first time the president will address the nation since he announced his decision to leave the presidential race. On Sunday, the president issued a letter in which he said he would not accept his party's nomination. A short time later, he endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. We will be broadcasting the president's address to the nation during our 6 o'clock newscast. Make sure you stay with KTSM 9 News both on air and online for the latest. Well, that's been your look at today's top stories. We'll be back with more Small Town Spotlight after this break. This is KTSM 9 News First at 4.
Welcome back. We are live from Central El Paso. We are more specifically right here in El Paso Police Department headquarters.
That's right. And today's edition of Small Town Spotlight, a very special one because we're learning more and getting more insight into exactly how the police force works here in the El Paso Police Department. We're also getting a firsthand look at how they operate and keep our community safe. Take a look.
Back in 1978, the El Paso Police Department, there was members of the department that were tasked by, at that point, Inspector Leo Samaniego, who was the equivalent of Assistant Chief of Police, to meet with members of the community to start a Crime Stoppers program here in El Paso. The whole idea was to be able to provide leads to law enforcement to be able to help solve crimes. The anonymity is what helps people to feel comfortable being able to call that program. And so all certified programs in the state of Texas, there is actually law that protects any information that is given to a certified Crime Stoppers program like Crime Stoppers of El Paso. Their information is going to be protected. When you're doing an investigation, it's not necessarily telling you that what came in the tip is now good enough to go and get a warrant on that person or solve the case on that. But it now will narrow it down. Investigators, of course, using their investigative skills, interviewing individuals, looking at evidence, will be able to see if that tip actually is able to lead to the probable cause to identify who is responsible for the crime that was committed. Like anything with time, sometimes we forget about the important history of Crime Stoppers here in El Paso, but it is definitely something that our board of directors is very proud of, sharing in that legacy of being involved in the first Crime Stoppers program for the state of Texas, and now it's something that is found all over the world.
And joining us live now is Sergeant Zambrano with the El Paso Police Department, here to talk a little bit more about the Crime Stoppers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, first of all.
Absolutely.
So my question to you is, how vital, how important is Crime Stoppers to the community?
It's a huge program that is important to help all law enforcement in solving crimes. It gives the community an opportunity to be able to provide information on crimes in an anonymous way that is actually protected by the government code.
And I know there are cash rewards when it comes to a tip maybe leading to an arrest. Where does that money come from?
Well, Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit organization, so that volunteer board of directors, one of their main functions is actually fundraising to be able to pay the tips and actually the equipment necessary to run Crime Stoppers. So that money that is fundraised by Crime Stoppers does not pay any type of salary. It's all of the equipment that protects the anonymity of those people that submit the tips. So that includes computer equipment, a call center, a variety of things to protect the anonymity of those callers.
Oh, interesting. All right, so let's just say that I do have some information on a case, and I call in, and that tip leads to an arrest. Now I'm owed some money. How do we stay anonymous?
Well, it's a good question. And so basically the government code protects the anonymity to a certified Crime Stoppers program, but how it works is that tipster will have to either call us or through the web, if it was submitted through our web tip, they will find out if their tip was receiving an award. And if it does, they will actually get information. We have a contract with a bank. They will be actually going through that bank. They're not going to be given any ID or anything. It's actually going to be a certain passcode and some information they provide to the bank, and the bank gives them the cash.
Wow, how interesting.
Such an important program for our community. Crime Stoppers, Sergeant Zambrano, thank you for not only having us here, but also your insight into Crime Stoppers in this program.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here.
All right, don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more to share with you right after this break.
Weather Authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Okay, let's say you're sitting there and you say you have the right stuff to become a police officer. Well, you're going to have to go through these people. We've got Tori Bradford, a recruiter for El Paso Police Department, and Carlos Arellano. Carlos, what do you have there, please?
I got a vest for you to put on so we can try on the course.
Let's go ahead and put that on me, even though it's 94 at the airport right now. Believe me, I'm ready to go, because as far as a 54-year-old male goes, I'm above average on my physical strength. So the first part is a test they have to take.
That's correct.
Okay, and if they pass the test, and there's no cost.
There's no cost at all.
You let the police department know, hey, I want to try out. You take the test, you pass, and then what? It comes here.
Now here.
And you literally come to this park, which is out off of Gazelle on the east side, sort of central east side. All right, so.
You ready?
I'm ready. Now, grab a radio?
Grab a radio?
I'm ready.
We're going to start the course. We're going to start on this side.
Okay.
We're going to go all the way around and then into the course.
Okay, and how long do we have to do it?
You got 39 seconds.
I'm sorry, say that again?
39 seconds.
39 seconds.
You ready, sir?
Okay. Okay. You sound like my producer for the show.
Yes.
Okay, go. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so while you're doing this obstacle course in 39 seconds, of course, if you were able to pass the physical part of this exam, Carlos, what comes next?
And then you're going to enter the course, and then you can stay on your left-hand side, then go to your right-hand side, and then you're going to come to this wall.
Okay.
Get over this wall however you want. It doesn't matter. Just get over the wall.
This is not a problem. Yeah.
And then you're going to come right over here. Jump over this.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Jump over this way.
Well, Carlos, let me let you finish
you're cheating. You're cheating.
Yeah, you do.
Come around.
You do your thing. I got to do the weather. Okay. Good thing I'm gonna let people like Carlos and Tori do this. Let's look at your forecast, okay? That was easy to put together in the air conditioning. High temperature 101 tomorrow. Now, we are going to have another air quality alert, so limit the outside breathing if you have respiratory issues. 101 the high temperature, 100 on Friday.
Thanks.
We'll see at least a chance of isolated storms back at the forecast Friday. Our best chance of rain will be Saturday. Widely scattered thunder showers. This forecast is going to make no one happy. Andy's already furious with me, but I can't ignore the data. High temperatures will move into the extreme range starting the middle of next week with a high of 106 by Wednesday,
107 Thursday back down to 106. And I'm taking the chance of storms out. All right, joining me now is Tori Bradford. Tori.
Hello, how are you?
Is there more to this test, or did I pass?
You're doing great, you're doing great.
Okay, what else? There can't be much else.
No, be prepared, ready?
Yeah.
So this one's gonna be our dummy pull, and this one weighs 185 pounds.
It weighs 185?
185 pounds.
Okay, it's 10 pounds more than me, no problem. What do I do?
So for this one, you're gonna pull, you can pull the left arm or the right. In this situation, you're gonna pull the arm here.
Okay.
And then you're gonna back pedal, so you're gonna walk backwards. And my partner here is gonna time you. Are you ready?
Go. What do you mean time me? For what?
16 seconds.
Okay,
Continue pulling.
where am I going?
Backwards.
I'm going backwards for 16 seconds?
Yes, sir. Keep pulling, keep pulling. Let's go, keep going, keep going. You're doing great.
Okay, just one last question. Does the mobile command post have air conditioning?
It does.
Maybe I can be a police officer. You stay with KTSM 9 News. We've got more Small Town Spotlight coming up in just a moment.
Welcome back to our Small Town Spotlight series. We are here live at the El Paso Police Department headquarters, and right now I want to introduce you to one of the standouts of EPPD, Stephanie Hahn. She's an instructor at the El Paso Police Academy, a mother of 2 children, and a professional boxer looking to create a legacy of her own in a family that is loaded of accomplished fighters.
What else can you guys see? You guys can see their siblings, their friendships.
Stephanie Hahn, an El Paso Police Department officer, spends a lot of her time instructing recruits at the EPPD Training Academy.
I've always been attracted to law enforcement. I truly love the position that I'm at. I'm glad to be doing what I know. Put your stuff away, change, and get your equipment, meet on range B. I have many positions at the academy, but one of the things that I do is I assist with defensive tactics. Breathe out, breathe out. They do get exposed to boxing, so that's something that I grew up doing. It's something that's very natural for me.
Now, passing down knowledge to recruits about the sweet science feels natural to Hahn. That's because she's also a professional boxer. Hahn is one of boxing's fastest rising fighters. She holds an undefeated 8-0 record, is the second-ranked fighter in the WBA women's lightweight rankings, and is aiming to become a world champion like her sister, Jennifer.
I know that I have the talent, I know I have the mentality, I know I have the power to be a world champion, so that is my ultimate goal.
The journey to becoming a boxing world champion is one that many thought would be uninterrupted for Stephanie.
She was one of the top amateurs in the United States, was favored to go and represent the United States in the Olympics 2012.
But that was not the case.
I know I hurt my family. I broke their hearts. I quit boxing. I was truly burnt out. And I just wanted to find myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, what am I without competing? And then shortly after I stopped boxing, I met my husband, and then we got married. We had our 2 beautiful kids, and then I became a police officer, so life happened.
Hahn was at a point in her life where she thought boxing professionally was out of the picture.
I had taken 10 years off of boxing. I thought I was done. I had my family, I had my career, I was happy. Jennifer Hahn, she's my sister. She's El Paso's first world champion. During COVID, she just got offered to fight one of the biggest fights of her life, which was Katie Taylor. But there was no sparring partners because, you know, gyms were closed down, you know, the whole world shut down. So I was like, you know what, Jennifer, if you have no sparring partners, I will help you out.
She's sparring with her sister, Jennifer, getting her ready for a big fight. And I see she still has a lot left in her, and I asked her if she would consider coming back, and she said yeah.
I thought that I was going to suck because I hadn't done it in so long. It took a while for me to gain the confidence in myself, but I was like, you know what, now where I'm at, I'm like, I could do it.
And after 8 straight wins to start her pro boxing career, Stephanie is on course to fighting for a world title.
What do you hope people could take away from your journey so far?
Life is funny. You know, it's always unexpected. I never thought when I was 25 I was going to go back to boxing. I thought I was done with fighting, but it was always in the back of my mind that I had regrets, you know, like knowing that I could have been the best. I could have possibly been an Olympic champion. I could have possibly been a world champion. Seeing the girls that have been amateurs, now they're being successful. So don't live life with regrets. You know, if you have a talent, don't be scared and to give it an opportunity. And if it works, good. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But at least you tried.
So Stephanie's journey to a world title continues on Saturday. She's headlining Ring Wars 12. She's fighting Miranda Reyes for the WBA Intercontinental Lightweight Championship. And if she wins that fight on Saturday, she could put herself in a good spot to fight for a world championship in the near future. Again, Ring Wars 12 on Saturday. Stephanie Hahn headlining the bout. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. That is your look at sports. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to this edition of Small Town Spotlight. We are coming to you live from Central El Paso at headquarters for the El Paso Police Department. Certainly learning a lot on this edition of Small Town Spotlight. One thing that we wanted to highlight too in this edition is a program that is a volunteer-based, that is the Citizens Police Academy, which has been around since the 1990s. It plays an important role.
Absolutely. So it allows the community to kind of learn more about their police department in case, for example, if you're interested in becoming a police officer, they go through all of the works. Check it out.
One of the programs that has been around since 1994 are the Citizens Police Academies. They allow members of the community to come in and learn about their police department. They'll get to meet the chief, various commanders and command staff from the department, and they actually get to process a crime scene. So there is a mock crime scene that is created, and based on the evidence and of course what they learned from that class, they have to kind of piece together a little bit of what they think happened based on the information that they received. All our officers are part of the community, and so it is important for the community to be able to have a one-on-one conversation with our department, ask questions, and learn a little bit more about how their police department works and what we do to help serve the community.
Hot and fresh chicken burrito, fries across your eyes.
I think you have a certain perception of what they do on a day-to-day basis. But once you see this back here, you can kind of not necessarily empathize, but maybe have a better understanding of why they do what they do when they do it. And that's our goal, is to provide this opportunity to anybody that is interested to partner with us, get a look behind the curtain.
Man, I really love seeing the police officers out in our community. I think that's such a cool thing that they do.
And I think what he just said perfectly encapsulates that. Better understand what we do for the community, and so the community kind of knows what they do. Just that mutual understanding between one another is so important when it comes to the community and a police department like we're here at the El Paso Police Department. So really, really cool inside look there.
And you know who else is getting a little taste of what it's like to become a police officer? Our chief meteorologist, Robert Bettis. What are you doing right now?
Yeah, I got to check in with you, Robert.
Well, Andy and Monica's a little hot. Yeah, hello. Can I get a Shirley Temple and a charcuterie board, please? Oh, thank you. Or just some water. Okay, so joining me is Tori Bradford and also Carlos Ariana. I've gone through a good portion of the physical test. What do I have to do now?
Next one, you're going to scale our wall. You got this.
Okay, I feel very good. Would you hold my charcuterie board,
Yes,
please? Okay, scale it.
Yes.
Is there a time limit?
Yes, there's a time limit.
Ow, ow.
17 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
this one
just
you have
while
to
I'm up
scale
here, I
over
just want to let
17
you know,
seconds.
it's 94 degrees at the airport right now, and tomorrow we're going to heat up even more to a high temperature of...
Good job.
Did I pass? Did I pass?
You passed.
Okay, so we're going to a 101 tomorrow. If somebody passes the physical part of this test, then it starts to get real. What happens next?
So next, they'll turn in their personal history statement. This is going to be their background packet. And then we start investigating their background.
Okay, so young people, we make good decisions because one day you may want to wear the badge and have a gun and enforce the law, and they're going to be looking at that. So behave, behave. After you pass that background check, what comes next?
We schedule them for their polygraph examination.
Okay, so they ask more questions, then what?
And then they get scheduled for their oral board interview. So they get this interview, and then from there, they'll actually tell them whether they passed or they failed. And then there's 3 components after that, which is going to be their psych, their medical, and then their drug screening. Extensive testing. But if you want a quality police force, you've got to know your people inside out. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I love it. Coming up, I'm going to have more information for you about becoming a police officer with El Paso Police Department. and I'm going to have your full forecast, and no one is going to like my 9-day forecast, and that is a hint to you, Andy. Hey, Monica, and did you see that?
I know.
Did you see that
Robert.
right there?
Thank you very much. Have you noticed every time we have gone back to Robert, he's breathing a little more heavily each time that we go to him?
Yeah, I love it. They're putting him to work today.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him by the end of this. We're going to be actually going into our 5 o'clock hour, some good stories. So we'll, of course, be checking in with Robert, see how he's doing over there in that obstacle course.
And you know what? If he does pass the test, he could potentially apply to become a police officer at the new Region Command Center in Far East El Paso.
And how about that segue to a story about the academy in that new facility? Take a look.
Our academies are getting larger. Right now we're graduating 15 at a time. It's looking like 20 in each academy class and up to 30 now. A majority of those recruits coming out are going to go to the Upper East Side since the growth is going so rapidly. So we are going to get additional recruits coming out, so it'll help our staffing issues.
We passed a public safety bond, and we had a bunch of city buildings that we needed to start building so that we could provide services at a faster and more efficient rate for the community. One of the things that we identified was the Upper East Side needed a regional command. So we found a location at Pebble Hills and Tim Foster. It's fast growing out there. If you've never been out there, it's a beautiful community, but we didn't have a police department that was centrally located. Right now we have 5 regional commands, and they're all centrally located within their districts.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited about leading out this new regional command. The officers that are working out there are also very excited. We have a lot of good officers in both regions. There are going to be good officers staying at Pebble Hills, and there'll also be a lot of good officers going to the new regional command.
Very state-of-the-art. So we spent over a year just doing the designing and planning phase to make sure that the building had a workflow for the officers that are going to work there. So we have very large parking area. We have a small area for the fleet to do like tire maintenance and just general upgrades so that we don't have to come all the way down here or to Lafayette, which is where our 2 garages are. So we want to make sure that we save time and be as efficient as possible. We also built a gas station right next door so the officers don't have to travel anywhere just to fuel their vehicles. Little things like that. And then we have huge locker areas. We have a gym inside the facility. We have a great break room. Like I said, the community room is amazing. Even just the front lobby.
Really impressive, and we are now joined by the Chief of Police for the El Paso Police Department, Chief Peter Pasillas. Chief, thank you so much for not only allowing us to be here, but also for this interview. Certainly do appreciate you.
Thank you for taking time to highlight the police department.
Of course.
Of course. And, you know, so East El Paso, it is growing. I keep seeing houses being constructed over there. Is this one of the main reasons why you decided to build this center? Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so the El Paso Police Department, since Chief Scagno has the community policing philosophy, so that's going all the way back into the 80s, 90s era. So as a city kept on growing, we needed another regional command out there so we can service that community with the regional command, fully functional regional command center.
And I know recruitment's such a big part of your department. Every police department in the country, recruitment is big, and your academies. How has that been, I guess, not only in your short tenure that it's been right here as Chief of Police, but even dating back 5-10 years ago, how does that compare to what you're seeing in terms of numbers now?
So hiring anybody in any profession is difficult. It's even harder with the person that we're looking for as an El Paso police officer. So it's been difficult. So law enforcement has gone through a rough phase with the Ferguson effect, the Floyd effect, and all those things. Right now, I just got some good news in my staff meeting earlier today. We have a class starting in September, and we're already up to 32 recruits in that class, and we still have about 36, 38 more to interview. So our recruitment is going up. So that's really good news for the community.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And, you know, you're coming up on a 1-year anniversary. Congratulations as far as being chief for the El Paso Police Department. What is your future goal moving forward? Talk a little bit about that.
So my priorities is first and foremost recruitment and retention to keep the community safe, work with the community, have our officers out there. The other one is officer wellness. So the ones that we hire, make sure that we keep them in the best mental, physical being to help them get through a career, but more than that, enjoy their retirement later on. And then obviously the main function of us is public safety and keeping the crime rate down low so we continue to be one of the safest cities in the nation.
And you mentioned recruitment, retention. I guess when you're speaking to the community like you are now, someone who's interested in being a police officer, I guess what's the main, I don't want to say pitch, but in that regard, is it, that sense of feeling of just giving back to your community. Is that kind of the main pitch?
Yes, anybody who wants to go out there and service or help their fellow citizen out there, this is a great career. There's so many facets of our department, and right now what we're looking at is you want to make the difference and make the change, please come and do it. It's very easy. Just go to joineppd.com. It has all the requirements to get in there. It's a very fulfilling career. It's not an easy career, but I promise you the rewards outweigh any of the toughness of the job.
Yeah, very rewarding.
Thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you to your police officers as well, Chief.
Absolutely. We got some great men and women out there every single day doing their best to keep this community safe.
Yeah, 100%. Chief, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more to share with you right after this break.
Weather Authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Don't mess it up. Watch.
Now, let me tell you, these small town spotlights are a chance for KTSM to shine a bright light of good news on different neighborhoods, on different towns, different organizations. Of course, we're with the El Paso Police Department. I don't believe anybody's taken a tour of the mobile command post live. KTSM wants to take you inside at 5 o'clock. Exciting, isn't it? Of course, a lot of people are thinking about, well, I want a good job. I want a meaningful career that goes a lifetime. And you might be considering, I want to be a police officer. Well, the person you want to talk to is Marshall Damon Braun. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right. You were in charge of recruiting.
Yes.
And please, oh my gosh, can you show us this little toy here?
Absolutely. We're very proud of this. This is one of our newly wrapped recruiting vehicles.
Oh yeah.
We wanted something that would grab attention. As we enhance our recruiting efforts, we're trying to be in more and more public venues.
Yes.
And so we want people to easily recognize this, and if they've ever had a question or interest in police work,
yes,
they know the recruiters are there, they're somewhere nearby, and they can walk up and ask us any question.
So if you see this car around and you're young and curious and
absolutely
want to try
come
out,
up and ask us questions.
Hey, if a 54-year-old can do some of the physical activity, then anybody can. And
100%. We get a lot of people retired from the Army and they're starting a second career with us. But even if we're not right next to the vehicle,
may I?
Then you can scan any of the QR codes on it and it'll take you right to our website, joineppd.com, which is full of information about all the pay and benefits and salaries of our job and the requirements and what it takes. And it also will take you right to our application.
I love this. Do you mind?
Absolutely. Have a seat.
I can play with the buttons too? All right. Let me tell you what. Charlie Clark has outdone himself on this one. Let's go to that 9-day forecast, shall we? Let's talk about the heat. Good thing these patrol cars come with AC. 101, our high temperature for tomorrow with an air quality alert in effect. And we're going to be 100 on Friday. We'll have a slight chance of storms. Saturday gives us our best chance for some rain coming back at us with a high of 98 degrees. And then, unfortunately, as we cruise into the work week ahead, extreme heat. We've got a big dome of high pressure building up. And I'm so sorry to reverse yesterday's forecast, but we're talking 106, 107 by the middle of the week ahead. And not good. So exercise caution over the next few days. Oh, hi, Cookie.
Hey, Robert. This isn't a Charlie Clark automotive car.
No.
It's over there.
Well, of course it is. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cookie. Of course, these small town spotlights couldn't happen without the Charlie Clark automotive group. And what did he send over today? I'm sorry, Bobby Bone cannot join us, so I'm going to have to give you a tour of this 24 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X four-wheel drive V6 monster. What is it like in here? Well, let me tell you what. You'll feel just as good as driving around in an El Paso police car without, you know, maybe the emergency lights and the ability to get people to pull over. But people will be staring at you. Oh, that air is ice cold. Thank you, Charlie Clark. Monica, Andy, how do I look?
Wow, that's such a neat truck.
Not bad. Not bad, Robert. Bobby did you well.
He did. And like you did. You know what else, Andy, is I feel like the El Paso Academy is, you know, such a rigorous part of this entire training. I can't even run a mile.
I know. I was actually gonna ask if you think you could get through the obstacle course or some of that training.
These brave men and women are incredible, let me tell you. Yes.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
When they first start here, it's very, very rigid. It's very strict. They come in. It's a different world that they're used to. They've come in from a very lax environment to a paramilitary and the structure again. Having to learn the structure. It's very difficult for them in the beginning, but over time, during these phases, we continue to build on them. And as they build, they start getting used to the daily life of, you know, a police recruit. And then we start giving them more information as to the daily life out in the streets.
You know, we started with a class of 30 strong, and now we're down to 26. The department's hurting for people right now, and so, you know, that would probably be my biggest fear, is just losing more people. So if you want to make a difference in your community, you know, one of the best ways to do that is by joining the police department. Join the police department. You can go help people, you know, hands-on, be the first one to assist them when they need that help. And so if you want to make that difference in this community, this is the best place to do it.
I don't know. Maybe about a decade ago,
yeah,
I might have had a chance. Nowadays,
I know.
I'm a little dicey when it comes to my physical shape, shall we say.
I know, mine too. But I just feel like it is so admirable to see, you know, so many people going through this. And as we just heard from the chief, there's 30 people already applying for that.
Over 30. Those numbers are up, so definitely good news there from the chief.
Yes.
All right, we got more coming up right after this break. Stay with us. You're watching KTSM 9 News, Small Town Spotlight. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of KTSM's Small Town Spotlight, but you'll want to stick around for our 5 o'clock half hour because we have more stories to bring to you here live from El Paso Police Department headquarters.
That's right. I get to do a ride along during our 5 o'clock newscast. You'll see it. It's a story that I put together, and I'm so excited to share it with everyone.
All right, stay with us.
Hair and wardrobe provided by